Hey y'all, the ALCS starts tonight. Let's look into it. We have the Houston Astros in Minute Maid Park against the Boston Red Sox. The Boston Red Sox surprised everybody just by being here, by beating the Rays. Nobody expected them to beat the Yankees, let alone the Rays. But here they are. They're going to play the Houston Astros. Let's talk about this series. We have a lot of big questions here. The first one is Lance McCullers Jr. I'm recording this the day before the series starts, so I don't know the roster yet. I don't know if Lance McCullers is going to play. He said he had some forearm tightness before after Game 4, so we don't know how that's going to go. If he's there, if he's not, that changes the complexion. But regardless of if he's there or not, he was never going to start Game 1. That's going to go to Framber Valdez. And he's also a big question because we don't know which Framber we're going to get. The Framber Valdez that faced the Boston Red Sox the first 2 times was absolutely dominant. He went 14 1/3 innings, allowed only 2 earned runs, struck out 18, and only walked 2. So that's a huge, huge rate. That's 9 strikeouts per walk. But ever since then, this was all before the sticky stuff crackdown. Now that there is a crackdown, Framber Valdez's performance has been a lot worse. He has not been able to control the walks as much. He's given up 44 earned runs in 116.1 innings pitched. And he has a 1.907 strikeouts per walk ratio. So that ratio has went from up here at 9, albeit in 2 games. So that is going to be skewed a little. And that went all the way down to 1.907 strikeouts per walk. So Framber Valdez's control has obviously been a lot worse ever since the crackdown. We're going to have to see which Framber we're going to get, and if the Boston Red Sox are able to adjust to him. I think that, it's going to be tough. It's going to be tough to see. I hope that they do. Obviously, I'm an Astros fan. This is a little bit biased, but let's look into the general gist of things. The Boston Red Sox have a good offense, but they are no Houston Astros offense. They have a 107 weighted runs created plus, which is ranked 6th. The Houston Astros are ranked 1st. I think they're at 118 or something, or 116. Somewhere up there, they're the first. They're the best in weighted runs created plus. They're the best offense in baseball. But the Boston offense, especially as of late, they've been hot. You cannot sleep on that Boston offense yet. In terms of pitching, the Red Sox do have a bit of an advantage. They have a 4.05 skill interactive ERA compared to a 4.25 skill interactive ERA. And this is actually all starters. So the Boston Red Sox have a better starting rotation. In terms of relievers, the Astros actually beat the Red Sox in skill interactive ERA. They have a pretty good bullpen, actually. They have a 3.9 skill interactive ERA, whereas Boston has a 3.94 skill interactive ERA. So even though the Red Sox do have a slightly higher skill interactive ERA, it's not by a lot at all. In fact, I think that little of a difference can be neglected. So you guys could say that the Houston Astros and the Boston Red Sox have essentially the same bullpen. In terms of fielding, though, Carlos Correa did say that fielding is going to be a huge factor in this game, or the series per se. The Red Sox have the worst fielding in baseball, and that's like amongst every single team. They have negative 38 outs above average, which ranks them all the way at 30th in Major League Baseball. And if you guys don't know, there are only 30 teams in Major League Baseball, so they're the worst fielding team in the league. Whereas the Astros are the second best fielding team in the league and the first best in amongst all remaining teams, because the Cardinals were the only team that had a better defense than them, and the Cardinals got eliminated. The Houston Astros have plus 44 outs above average. It's significantly insane how much the difference is in terms of fielding. You almost have the best team in baseball in defense and the worst defense in baseball matching up. If it weren't for the Cardinals, it would have been like that. So it's like 2 versus 30, which is still a huge difference, but it's not like a 1 versus 30 kind of difference. It's not satisfying. That said, hitting, fielding, that's going to be a huge factor. But pitching Pitching sometimes could be the only difference. Heck, the Boston Red Sox, nobody expected them to beat the Rays. They did beat the Rays. So you can't sleep on the Red Sox. But the numbers do show that the Houston Astros are a much better team regardless. They are 5-2 against the Red Sox this year. So there's that. Again, the regular season matchup doesn't really matter too much anymore. Now you're in October. Nothing that happened before that matters at all. But these numbers do have their suggestions. Another huge question that we're going to have. Chris Sale, he's starting game 1 of the ALCS. He was discussed as being a potential bullpen piece before. And he has not been as sharp as the Chris Sale we've come to know ever since his injury. That said, the Astros have not seen him this year at all. He has a funky delivery. We're going to find out tonight which Chris Sale we see. I'm actually more worried about Chris Sale than Nate Eovaldi, even though Eovaldi has been hot. Eovaldi, we've seen him. We put up 5 runs against him, but we have not seen Chris Sale. That's the thing. Chris Sale with his funky delivery. Will the Astros be able to get used to it? How's Jordan going to adjust to it? Michael Brantley, I feel like he's a professional hitter. He can adjust. But that delivery is going to be pretty tough against lefties. You have Jordan and Tucker. I don't think either of them have faced Chris Sale before. They're going to face him for the first time. That's going to be a very tough adjustment. You have to wonder which Chris Sale you're going to see tonight. And I'm excited to see which Chris Sale we see tonight. Hopefully it's not a sharp one. Hopefully the Houston Astros come through. My prediction for this series is Astros in 5.